What's going on, you guys? So the very first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna disconnect the battery. Make sure that there's no power within the engine bay. So we'll remove the negative terminal first, and then we'll get to the positive terminal. And they're both 10mm bolts or 10mm socket range. So we'll go ahead and remove those. All right. So here's my new alternator. This is what it looks like. Overall, we got 4 bolts. One right here, the second one right here, and 3 and 4 at the bottom. So essentially, that's how many bolts we're going to be removing, in addition to the harnesses and sensors. Yeah. So the first one, we'll be able to remove the first one from the top, but the other 3 are going to be from the bottom. So got one right here, and the other 2 are only going to be visible from the bottom. But I'm also going to take off this engine cover to make things easier. So, all right, now we have that out of the way. So hopefully it'll make things easier. All right, and if you have rusty parts like me, you might want to spray some WD-40 or PB Blaster on the parts ahead of time. I clearly didn't do that, but I'll just go ahead and spray it right now, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully nothing snaps in two. Alright, and looking from the bottom, here are 1, 2, and third one right there. Alright, so we'll spray some PB Blaster to all of them, and we'll go ahead and start the job. Be careful with this part, but anyways, we're gonna use a 14mm socket wrench to hold this part, grab it, and twist it away from me. So pretty much like twisting it forward. Yeah, so now I have it on, and I have to move it away from me, so twisting it forward in order to remove the tensioner. Now you just gotta put some games, wiggle it around. Oh no, it's not as easy as I thought. Okay, there it is. It's coming out. All right. Now, let's see. All right, so that was 14mm. I was able to get it out. Now we're gonna use 12. We're gonna use 12mm to remove the other part that I mentioned, the 4 bolts. So this is the first one on top. I'm gonna remove that first, and then get to the other 3. All right, so now it's already broken loose. Just gotta keep turning it and remove the whole thing. Hopefully the other 3 are gonna be as easy as this one too. All right, first one's out, 3 more to go. All right, so the next one up top, and we are going to remove that as well. Hopefully it comes out as easily as the other one came out. All right, now that it is on, just gonna break it loose. All right, second one is off. Now the third and fourth, but before that, we're gonna remove the harness and the sensor. So change my mind. To make things easier, I'm gonna remove this first, the harness, sensor, whatever. Remove that first and then remove the sensor, the other one. So this one, I believe it's 10 millimeters, but actually no, it looks like 12 millimeters. So yeah, I'm gonna remove that and take out the wire. Alright, so I already broke it loose. Now I just gotta remove it, my fingers. Alright. Now I gotta take this out. Alright guys. Alright, I was hoping that was gonna make my life easier to remove the harness on top, but looks like it won't. Alright you guys, so I was able to remove this with the help of my brother, and this thing was a pain in the butt. So we had one person pushing down on the clip right here with a flathead screwdriver, and the other person was just wiggling the harness, the sensor, trying to remove it. So you wiggle it and pull it out at the same time, and with a couple of tries it'll eventually come out. But yeah, it was definitely a pain in the butt. I was just doing it myself at first, spent like 20 to 30 minutes on it, and I ended up just calling my brother to help me out do it. So make sure you got someone to help you out do it if you're working on this kind of job. So now the next thing, just take the harness off, and then I'm gonna remove the last two bolts. This one right here and this one right here. I'm gonna do them one at a time, and I'm gonna just use the jack to hold it in place so it's not gonna fall on me. So I'm gonna put the top one back in to make it easy for me to remove the bottom one. So we just put it back in there without tightening it, just to tighten it a little bit to make sure that at least it's got something that's holding it on top. And then we're gonna proceed to remove the bottom, loosen that up, bottom two, and then I'll put this jack to hold it and make sure that it's not falling on me. Right now, all the bolts are off, but for some reason the jack is not holding it, and I'm not sure what's holding it. I guess it's probably been there for so long, it's never been taken out. Car has 140,000 miles, so I guess that kind of explains why. So I'm just gonna slightly hit it, I don't know, with the hammer or something. Alright folks, finally came out. Yeah, I guess this pin right here was the main problem, because that's where it's kind of like helping it keep it in place, and that's why I was having trouble removing it. It's been there for so long, so for me. But yeah, it came out. Now just gotta do things the other way around. Put the new alternator back on. All right, so now we're gonna put the new one on, and this slot right here, make sure it goes right onto this hole. So I'm gonna put it in, and yeah, make sure it goes into that hole. All right, once you have it in there, the first thing I'm gonna do is just put it in the top bolt to hold it together. All right, so top bolt is on, holding it together along with the slot at the bottom. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put the bottom ones, the bottom two. All right, now we're just gonna use our 12 millimeters socket wrench to tighten everything, all four of them. All right, so now we have these three on. Let's have the fourth bolt on before tightening everything together. Right on. Boom. Now let's get those 12 millimeters socket wrenches to tighten everything. All right. So first I'm gonna do the top one. All right. So first I'm gonna tighten the top one, and then I'm gonna go back to the bottom and tighten the other three. All right. Now the sensor on. You heard the snap? That's how you know it's nice and tight. And now we're gonna put the second one on as well. Oh man, my hand's shaking. Crazy. All right. Down is snapped on too. Now we shall put the bolt on as well. The bolt, I believe, is a 12 millimeter, so we're gonna tighten that one too. Okay, so the new one is actually 13 millimeter, not 12. So that's what I'm using right now. All right, should be good now. Just put the cap back on. Yeah, now let's put the tensioner on. Uh-oh, tension fell down. Gotta get the hole of it. Okay. I need both my hands, so can't really show this, but just make sure you take a picture before removing it, and that way you'll remember when trying to put it back on. All right, now with everything back on, Just got to make sure that the tensioner is in the right spot, nice and straight. You don't want this bent. If it's misplaced, you might end up cutting the tensioner once you turn on the engine. Yeah, it's pretty much just gonna start spinning, and it's gonna go around the edges, the sharp edges, and it's just gonna, yeah, it's not gonna be good for your tensioner. So just make sure that it's nice and straight. And after this, just put the battery terminals back on. Yeah, minus and plus, or plus and minus in this case. And yeah, that's it. That's it.